So let's talk about your thoughts going to Vietnam. Um, did you kind of subscribe to this idea that you were going to fight against communism to contain the spread of communism? Was that kind of ideological motivation in your head at that time?
Yeah, I bought into the domino theory. You know, one thing that ended up saving my life, really, literally, is that when I was still at Fort Hood, I got a job off base in the evening because I wanted to get off base. I got a job off base at a music store, working with the guitars, keeping them tuned up, changing strings for people, doing stuff like that. And so, right at the very end, I bought one of the guitars there. He gave me a great deal, and I took it with me, and that allowed me some incredible experiences, and it actually literally saved my life one day. I'm sure of it.
What kind of music were you into at that time?
I was just a folk guy. Well, I mean, folk and country kind of were blended at that time, you know, and so I have to say both. I was, although I will say that Dylan opened my eyes. I started off just as a basic folk guitar guy, folk guy, and then Dylan opened my eyes to the social scene. When I was in Texas, I used to start tapping my foot to the country music as well. But Dylan was where my heart was.
Interesting. And I'm really curious about that. So they just allowed you to go to Vietnam with your guitar. That's very interesting to me. Talk more about
And
that.
I just took it, and the first day in Vietnam, or first night, they stuck at Ton Snud Air Base. The next day, they put us on a truck and they drove us into town to a personnel office where a guy would assign us different units, and we were supposed to sleep there in that building at that night, and tomorrow, the next day, we'd be shipped off to the units. Well, as I got up to the front, the guy looked at me with my guitar and says, "Damn, do you want to stay at my place tonight? We can play guitar together." He happened to be a folk guitar guy from Boston, incredible guy. I says, "I'm with you, brother." So I went back to his small, he called it an apartment, but it's just a little hovel, to stay amongst the Vietnamese village. And so I'm there at that night in his place with the war going on because it was in the middle of Tet Offensive, boom, boom, boom. And he turns me on to this new record that he just got from a friend in the mainland, Janis Joplin, Big Brother and the Holding Company.